friend of mine had worked for a small Yemeni organization that trains journalists and recommended that I consider working for them. The president and sort of the guiding light of this organization was a Yemeni woman named Rahma Hugera, at a very young age being an advocate for the press. As a columnist, as a reporter, she's translated that now into building a program that trains journalists and specifically focuses on female journalists. This organization was always intent, even as they'd be training men and women journalists, on building up the core of women journalists in Yemen who are strong, who are competent, who are capable of telling these stories that sometimes men cannot, and that sometimes men are unwilling to. That's a valuable resource in any country, but certainly in a country where the rights of women are constrained. I flew out there this summer and spent a lot of time working on proposals for funding, designing programs that the organization was doing, and spent a lot of time working, and this was the tricky part, working with women, Yemeni women in the office, which was primarily staffed by women. And there's something of a wall between men and women, and certainly between Yemeni women and Western men. Well, I think we found that we had some very firm common ground when it came to our belief in the role of the press in society. One day I was sitting in the office writing a proposal, and my boss brought in a young man who was all wearing sharp clothing and looking great, and she said, oh, he just got out of jail. He'd done a publication as a final project for his school, and it had offended the government, and they'd basically thrown him in jail, and he'd gotten beaten over the last few days. So, and then there he was, standing there and smiling, and very personification of a press trying to struggle against a government that was repressive. I'm a journalist by career and training. However, international affairs was always sort of an aspect of that that I wanted to do more in. I was working in South Dakota, and I was finding myself watching the television and with the basic Arabic that I knew, trying to translate what I was seeing on the screen while I was writing a story about a local crime. I realized that I needed to step out a little further from where I was. And this school had that, not just with what I could learn, but the kind of people that I could meet. It can be very easy to think that diplomacy is this high-flown thing where people wearing nice clothes sit in stuffy rooms and have very serious conversations. Several diplomacy classes in particular have shown me that it's far more than that. It's much more diverse and much more personal. As much as it's something that can change the world, it's based on those relationships that are built from people's passions. It's passionate.